Eternia about to step up to the plate. We got the illest in the world right now. Eternia.
Not until somebody asked. I think the last 2 years, maybe I really started taking seriously the impact and how what I am doing is affecting and resonating with other people. But before that, it was really more of, to be quite honest with you, a selfish exercise. And I would argue that a lot of artists out there, especially hip-hop artists, it's a selfish exercise. But it's changed. It's changed for me over the years, especially recently. To the point where I realize that a lot of people are tuned in, a lot of people are listening, a lot of people are watching, and I have a responsibility to those people. So I think now I think about that. But most of my material that is out there publicly, I was not thinking about that when I recorded that material. I'm still proud of it. I still stand behind it because it's an authentic and genuine picture of where I was at the time, but it's not necessarily me thinking of my legacy or my impact. It was just me creating, just being an artist and creating.
This is called life, I lived it, it's all light ways of understanding, I planned it this way, alright, that's right, I chose to be lesser known, chose to study my craft, and put this rap shit on hold, yeah, now I'm back in them compared to other women, y'all so stupid, pat you on your head, children, need convincing, I'ma just be like God created, mom raised me, this is me, like, winter is cold, skin covers bones, you see, I remain like the sun after rain for your soul, yeah, you wanna see, you wanna roll with me, you wanna stroll with me, yeah, you wanna see how it's supposed to be, you wanna come close and get to know me.
For a lot of people, that's really freeing, to just hear someone admit that they're flawed and they've screwed up, and a lot of people don't do that, right? So yeah, that's definitely a part of what I'm trying to do is to encourage other people as well, that they can, not be scared of showing their flaws or revealing when they've made mistakes, growing and learning from them. We don't even grow and learn if we don't actually face them, and that saying, hurt people, it's like if you don't actually face them, you're hurting yourself and everyone around you too, so it's actually really kind of detrimental and important for people to face that stuff. Kids Help Phone was huge for me. That was really, really important. I didn't want to release that song to the future as a music video unless I had an organization for people to call to for help, because I knew this song was going to bring up a lot of emotions with a lot of people when they heard it. It was my personal account of sexual assault and abortion and my mother's experience with domestic abuse, and there was gun violence in there, and so I didn't want people to hear this, feel things, relate, and not have an outlet. So that's why it was important to me. We actually sat on that music video for 8 months before we released it, because I refused to release it without an organization that could help people that heard it.
Yeah, I was assaulted with a gun. These dudes locked me in a room, molested me for fun. I swear I would scream or I'd run if I told my pops they dumb, but I thought of their mothers with dead sons, and that's empathy. I wish I was cool, cause if I was, I could've stripped for $1, but I couldn't risk my soul, so I didn't. I left school, came back, finished, went to college, graduated with honors, but get this, memories my mind conveniently erases. Strange homes alone, got touched in strange places. That's why I freak out when you touch me and I'm screaming. I don't know it's you, it's just my past evil demons, and they plenty. They haunt me all the time.
So the kind of social change that I advocate specifically in my music is literally a trusting your struggle, being honest to your own voice social change. So coming from the inside out. This isn't something where I find out that something's going on in the world that is unjust and I want to do something about it, which is also, very valid and should be done. This is something where it's like I literally am excavating the depths of the crap that I have personally seen and experienced with my own eyes, offering that to the world, and then saying, hey, everyone else that's experienced something like this, why don't we get free together? I'm really excited because I'm taking a lot of that work and experience that I have and hoping to tour women's programs in universities in the fall, specifically targeting the northeast of the U.S. for now, with this organization called Nomadic Wax, and it's nomadicwax.com. So I'm excited because I'm actually going to be facilitating workshops in universities about people finding their own voice in the midst of this whole kind of social change and platforms and agendas, especially when you're in university. Everybody wants you to attach yourself to some cause, right? Very important, but it has to come from a very honest place, or else you're not even going to be effective. And so that's one thing that I'm hoping to workshop a bit in the fall in different universities. So that's something that we're just in the works with now, but I'm really excited about it.
My PR heads, they feel me more than reggaeton. They see me coming, they be like, "Esta cabrón." In Ethiopia, say the same thing, I'm better than you.
Because in hip-hop especially, it's one of those things where, you know, every MC just feels the need to say, here's 1,000 reasons why I'm better than you. And that's almost like a culturally like expected part of raps, of hip-hop songs. So it's definitely been a weird fine line for me to walk, to try and write really compelling music that isn't just always braggadocious. Do I still throw it in there? Absolutely. Is there times where it's necessary? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, just like any sport, it's like there has to be a time where you can pull out your battle gear. You know, you put on your battle gear and you go to war, and so you have to be ready for that.
I hurt you, woman to man, it's not personal. Learn the girl that birthed you, find her and reverse you. Bye-bye. Let's talk about how much they flip.
I really don't care. It's whatever type of shit.
Funny how
I really don't care.
Funny how
I really don't care.
Funny how rappers talk about how much they flip.
I really don't care. It's whatever type of shit.
The last thing you hear before you pass out is E.T. Blacking out on percussive drums make me act out and mash out. My posse cold like Alaska with your ass out. No pause, no recaps, no shout outs, the facts out. You can't last like a glass house, I'll see through you. Rhymes doo-doo, shut your mouth, I came about. One woman stronger than your whole crew. Do the math, my left half can outdo you. I laugh out loud, and school you. Your boys ROFL behind your noodle. Pseudo rapper, persona fabricated super actor. I'm just me, you pick a rapper that you model after, let me see.
But yeah, absolutely. When you're playing, you know, a certain sport, or when you're in a certain profession and the rules of the game are a certain way and people operate a certain way, you know, you naturally develop, I guess, the same tactics. So for sure, if you see me on stage, to a lot of people I might be exhibiting traditionally masculine traits, but, you know, to me, even the idea of feminine and masculine traits is kind of, you know, that's fluid. It's a little bit less static.
I still flow, collecto, magnetize. Fine, so I hit the road like a stop sign. Why? I gotta convince them that I shine. Bitch ass promoters be wasting my time. Don't care if I rhyme, but they still wanna dime. Find me in the middle of a very thin line.
E.T. from Venus, J. Brown from Mars. Nothing stands between us, getting down for ours.
The tour starts Toronto, we superstars, but you gotta pull over, I'ma pee in the car.
If the rest stops too far, hand up a bottle.
Nah, fuck that, I need a bathroom.
Man, don't act like a model, we late for the show. This tour shit ought to be the same for us both.
For us both, torn stove, but nothing's ever purely roses. Metro's chillin', E is chillin', but what's wrong with Jay? Moving on and through these songs we tellin' tales of our survival.
Hip-hop's been there throughout the years no matter what I was going through, so I wouldn't really abandon it. You know what I mean? It almost becomes like a relationship, like a person.
Yeah. Just reminds me of that Erykah Badu song with Common and the one the Roots did too.
Love of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true, and every once in a while you're like, you want to leave it. It's like the boyfriend that you're like, you ain't treating me right. You know? Every once in a while you're like, why? But then, you know, you work it out and you have your fights and you move on. It's literally like a relationship. And, you know, I have spent 2/3 of my life now in a relationship with hip-hop, so it's not one of those things that I would ever think about leaving. I mean, could I see myself doing a different capacity, for example, facilitation or teaching or, you know, the nonprofit sector? Absolutely, but I don't think it'll ever not be a part of me. I don't think I'll ever not be in a relationship with hip-hop.
Check the shit out. It's always sound like I'm finally found my purpose and striking for 40 tonight. Then I wake again, with the street again. Start to write, I'll give my first poem before I give up.